Hey everyone, and welcome back to our final episode of the Alien Collection. At least until they release any new movies or anything else, I guess. Maybe next time we'll cover Alien Isolation. I think that'd be fun.
They're making a sequel to that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Very cool. Maybe we might come back then if you guys are interested in that, because I've been having a lot of fun making these videos. With me today we have.
Hello, it's me, Emily. I'm on plenty of videos on this channel. You know who I am.
Hello, it is I, Kris, here, back again. Whoop, whoop.
From outer space, apparently.
I was gonna say Chris from very far away from the mic.
But enough about that.
Alien X or Alien Earth. Sorry.
Yes. But now we're finally covering Alien Earth, the FX Hulu TV show that is written by Noah Hawley from Fargo and Legion. In my opinion, really good TV shows. I haven't seen all seasons or all episodes of each show, but from what I've seen, very well written. So when I heard that he was attached to an Alien project, I was like, interesting. I want to see what he does with this very weird continuity. And honestly, I can't think of a better 3 movies that we just talked about to then go into this show. This show is very unique. I know you two haven't seen Alien Earth. And actually, Kris, you've never seen Alien, right?
Well, I've seen bits and pieces over the years, but I'm not the biggest sci-fi person, and I'm not the biggest horror person. So put them together, my ass out.
Okay.
I mean, I will watch them eventually, but
we will.
There's gotta be space in between them.
Mm-hmm. I don't know.
Not a movie binge night.
No, not. If we ever do a binge, it'd be the first 2 movies and nothing else. If this series of the Alien Collection has told us anything, it's the first 2 movies, and if you are like those, Romulus, that's it.
Yeah, pretty much that's it.
Yeah, you don't need to see any of the other ones. Watch our videos though, because we had a lot of fun kind of going after them. But when it comes to Alien Earth, you don't need to have seen any of the previous stuff. It's pretty much self-contained. The show does a good job just kind of rushing exposition about how these xenomorphs work for people who don't know anything about them. But it's kind of just oh yeah, don't get that thing on your face. If that thing gets on your face, you're dead. Something's going to come out of you. These things bleed acid. They just rush through all that shit real quick. And even at the beginning of the show, they kind of do I don't know if, Emily, have you seen Pacific Rim?
Yes.
So, at the beginning of that movie, they go Jaeger, kaiju, then they just run into the movie.
Yeah. In
this, they basically have text explaining the difference between a synthetic, a cyborg, and then what this show is about, hybrids, which is basically synthetic bodies with the consciousnesses of humans, which is new for this franchise.
It is. I was going to say, that doesn't sound familiar.
Yeah, no, they don't. This is the first time they're doing it in the show. And even in the world, it's very rare. These characters that we follow, the hybrids, are the first of their kind. And they're not even Weyland-Yutani. They're new company that we follow mostly in this show called Prodigy, led by a guy named Boy Cavalier, who is basically this young scientist trillionaire who basically acts like L. He doesn't wear shoes. He dresses kind of no shit. He acts like if Light and L combined into one person. This guy. It's weird. Just the mannerisms and just the holier than now nature of the character. It's a really good performance because you fucking hate this guy.
Sure.
So our main character, she goes by 2 different names. The name that they basically call her throughout the show is Wendy. All the characters are named after Peter Pan characters because these are kids trapped in adult bodies and they can never grow old. That is the main plot of this show. And then the alien stuff is just kind of the catalyst that gets things going for these characters. Because of these creatures, they have to grow up fast.
Yeah. It sounds like somebody had a pitch for a Westworld style series, and then they couldn't get it made, so they added a xenomorph to it.
No.
The vibe that I'm getting from that description.
Kind of, because it does seem like that's the story they're more interested in telling, and the xenomorph stuff is just kind of all right, well, if we have it here, let's do some cool shit with it. And I'm gonna be real, this show does some stuff with the xenomorph that may make or break you depending on what kind of fan you are. Like, if you're the kind of fan of this franchise where you care more about the artistic storytelling and, like, the nature of not explaining everything, this might not be for you. But if you're that kind of fan who loves lore and finding out about, like, how these things work and, like, making these things, like, actually, like, exploring what these creatures are like, this is more for you.
Okay.
So, yeah. Yeah, and then the alien plot of this is that there is a Weyland-Yutani ship that is carrying various species of the most dangerous creatures in the universe, which includes xenomorphs. And you get to see a bunch of other different kind of aliens in this universe, which... honestly, I love the idea of that. Does a good job of showing how dangerous this entire universe is, that nothing is safe. Like, everything is so unsuspecting, and then all of a sudden it's the deadliest thing in the room. And it also gets to show you, like, how dangerous the xenomorph is compared to the others. And so something happens on the ship that leads it to crash into this city, and the first couple episodes are the characters trying to round up these creatures, and then the later half of the show is basically us on a remote laboratory island kind of exploring these creatures. And you get this really cool Westworld sci-fi plot, and you get this really cool horror alien zoo premise. Overall, I think it was a good show. I'm very mixed on it because, like I said, with, like, if you're going to be mixed on this show, or if people are going to love it or hate it, is that this is very much stylistically and pacing wise very much the first movie. Like, if you like the pacing of the first movie and that really slow build up to tension, just kind of getting idea for atmosphere and how everything works, and, like, really feeling like you live in this world, you're going to love this show. Oh my god, like, the first episode, like, the first 10 minutes, they do such a good job replicating the overall feel of a Weyland-Yutani ship. Like, it is really scary how, like, accurate, like, the tables look, the mess hall, the mother AI room. Like, it is impressive how much detail they get right, and it just brings you right back to the original movie. It's all an homage, but not, and, like, this is the world, so this is what it would look like. It's not just like, here's a reference, here's an Easter egg, here's this, here's that. It is not that kind of show.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So yeah, if you like that kind of pacing, perfect. And also, I gotta say, this show fucking loves its cross dissolves and fade outs. Oh my god. Like, I'm never a person to really notice editing or, like, care that much about editing. If it's good, I'll point it out, or if it's, like, really bad, I'll point it out. But this one was, like, so overtly, like, if you were to look at, like, the Adobe Premiere timeline, it would just be nothing but cross dissolves.
Jesus.
And to be fair, they're very well done cross dissolves in that they help to, like, show, like, what the characters are thinking in that moment in a really cool way. It's, like, almost like a collage of images that it just does with cross dissolves, and, like, it's kind of cool, but also at the same time, like, it gets kind of annoying when you're just like, we get it. It just kind of becomes more like artsy fartsy for the sake of being artsy fartsy. I'm trying to think, like, do any of you, like, have any questions regarding this show so far?
Not necessarily. I mean, you piqued my interest as an Alien fan. Like, I probably do want to check it out, especially considering it's doing what I'd want from a new Alien project, and that it's telling a story, and not trying to, like, build on the lore of Alien creation as much.
No, yeah, this is not like, here's how these things are made and this is who did it. It's not that. They very much treat these things like animals, and the most exploration you get out of it is kind of seeing how they act and how they work. Like, there's a scene where they dissect an egg, and then they take out the face hugger, and then they just dissect that. Like, do I need to know how the biology works? No, but it's kind of cool to, like, see how they would, like, if they had control over the process, how would they handle it? That's kind of cool, in my opinion. And, like, like, if I could spoil one little detail that I'm mixed on, is that the main character, Wendy, who is a hybrid, starts to pick up how to speak Xenomorph. And that
Interesting.
That can really make or break it for you, because the moment you, like, it's no longer a creature, like, it's something like you can communicate with. And honestly, like if I could compare the Xenomorph to any kind of like animal, is yes, they have like an insect hive mind kind of thing, but it's more like a chimpanzee in that like, yeah, you can communicate with it okay, but like it's still an animal. It will freak out if you're not paying attention. She figures out, like, at first she starts hearing things, like her audio sensors are picking up some kind of clicking noise and no one else is doing, like, even the other hybrids are like, we don't hear what that is. And so when they go to dissect the egg and everything, it just starts, they all just start screaming, like very loud, and she faints. And it's like weird because she's a robot. How does she faint? Because the noise was just so loud she couldn't handle it. So they basically turn off her audio and start to mess with it to get the right frequency. And what I really like is they're like, look, you're not human, so like the way we speak is not how you speak. You just have a speaker, so just don't think like a human. And so that's how she mimics the noise and is able to talk to these things. And
Interesting.
They say talk in the show. It's not like dog commands. No, she's like, oh no, I'm trying to work out the pronunciation of things and try to really communicate with these things. Like, you don't know what they're saying, but you definitely understand what she's asking them to do. And towards the end of the show, yeah, she basically has full control over a Xenomorph. I don't know how I feel about that, honestly. Because the moment you kind of treat these things like a dog, it kind of takes a lot of the horror out of it. And like towards
I don't know. I don't really give a fuck about continuity like that. It's kind of like Daleks on Doctor Who, where it's like I think the relative scariness of them is determined by the context that you're showing us to them in.
Okay, yeah, that's fine.
Right? Like I don't think the alien being able to be mind controlled in this context means that it's like, oh, these creatures are generally less scary. It's like, well, they're serving a different purpose in this particular segment of the canon, I guess.
Yeah, I guess it's just because of how similar the show is to the first Alien in tone and style. I was expecting more of that dread. And to be fair, you get that from various other things in this show. Like, I mean, one of the things that like we've been talking about throughout this whole series is like the pseudosexual nature of these creatures. They kind of replace that in this show, but with the idea of perverting nature. Because the very idea of these hybrids is that you're taking terminally ill kids and putting them in adult bodies that cannot age. And the show really goes into how that really messes with these kids. Because, like, they don't even know, like, how they should act. They're basically adults acting like kids. And then they're told to go on a mission to go basically help people out of the wreckage and then contain these creatures. And that whole experience fucks them up in various different ways. One character, Nibs, her name is Nibs. That character's really interesting. They take some weird directions with her character. Do you care much about spoilers?
Not necessarily.
Okay, one direction they take her character is she's so traumatized by what happened, she just kind of mentally breaks, and then randomly one day she goes to one of her like caretakers or like the scientists on the island, says like, I'm pregnant. And it's a child psychologist and a robot like technician looking at her like, how? Like, how are you pregnant? You can just tell this poor girl has just lost her mind through trauma, because like there's one moment like in the show where like she's looking in a mirror and she just touches her eyeball. Like she just full on just touches it and she's like, I don't feel anything, because it's not an actual eye. It's some really, really twisted, creepy stuff they do with like the mental mutilation of these poor kids.
Why do they use kids?
Yes, okay.
For this?
So in the show, they quickly explain that the process of turning like a human into a hybrid doesn't work on adults because our brains are either too complicated or they're too developed in some way into a fixed thing, that the process and the transference shorts out and they don't survive the process. Like there's too much there that they cannot like fully compute. So they take kids because they're still developing, they still have imagination, you can still kind of like mold them. So they basically just take terminally ill kids because it's like, well, like your bodies are failing you, these won't fail you. Their parents think they're dead, their family thinks they're dead. The main character has a brother in this show that she constantly wants to go out and find. And when she does, like, he's just like, I went to your funeral. It's some really cool stuff they do with, like, the robot stuff, which has always been the more interesting stuff in the Alien franchise. So to, like, have a show
For sure.
fully commit to that being its characters is really fun. I don't know. But, like, there's the human characters in the show are good. The doctors and such are really fun, are really interesting characters because they're not evil. At least the two doctors who were directly involved making them, like, they genuinely had good intentions with, like, trying to save these kids. It's just, again, the whole theme of Alien, when you really break down to it, is capitalism fucking sucks.
True.
Because
Weyland-Yutani have been the villains for so long for that exact reason. The villains of Alien have always been the corporations that want to exploit the horrible death creatures for profit, and not the horrible death creatures that mostly just exist to get trafficked by Weyland-Yutani.
Yeah, and that's a big element in the show too. Well, I mean, the show mostly focuses on this new one called the Prodigy Corporation, because they add a new thing in Alien lore where the Earth has basically been, instead of countries, it's companies now. So there's 5 major companies, and you meet 2 of them. One of them is Prodigy, led by this boy genius, and the Weyland-Yutani, which is run by the descendant of Yutani. And you get to meet a Yutani, finally, in the Alien franchise, and I think that's kind of cool. She does not give a shit. It is really... The actress does a really good job, like, playing that character and just being kind of, like, cold, but not one note. It's kind of neat to see the face of Weyland-Yutani after all these movies. You know what I mean?
No, that's actually kind of really cool. Again, you're just piquing my interest as an Alien fan, right?
Yeah.
Like, all this stuff sounds like stuff that I want to see, but it was not made clear to me that this was stuff in the show because nobody watched it.
No, yeah, this show kind of came and went, honestly. Before we get into that, I do kind of want to talk about a couple other things. Timothy Olyphant is in the show. He plays a synthetic who basically watches over the kids, and he's a really good character. It's Timothy Olyphant. He always fucking brings it. Even in bad stuff, he always brings it.
It's true.
But he's a really fun character named Dr. Kirsch. What I love about his character is he's kind of like Ash and David in that, like, he has his own ulterior motives going on. He does not like these humans, and he tolerates these hybrids, but he just doesn't understand, like, how humans work. Like, there's a moment where the brother character asks, like, how long can her battery last for? Like 2 years? And he's just like, why do you care? You're not going to leave. Like, that's like an onion asking, how do I run the store? I was just like, shit.
Right.
That's an interesting thing. He's fun in that nature, but, like, he's kind of like David in that, like, he has his own little motives going on, and he'll watch things go down and not do anything about it because he's like, I want to see how this goes.
Funny.
And he's a really fun character in the show. Very, like, honestly, if there's one thing about the show that kind of irks me, but just because who I am, characters are really mean in this show. Like, it's a mean-spirited show.
Kind of fun, though. That's very much in the spirit of the original movie.
Very. And one of the characters that I absolutely love in this show is this guy named Morrow. He was a part of the Weyland-Yutani crew that crashed. He was the head chief scientist, making sure the cargo was safe the entire time. And he is a no shits given character. He is very much like, by the book. We have to make sure these creatures are contained. Don't fuck around. He's a very interesting character. You get a little pathos with this character when you find out, like, oh, the reason why the way he is that when he was sent off to space, his daughter died at 18 from, like, I think it was a car crash. So, like, he has no humanity left. And he's also a cyborg, so he has, like, this arm that's been replaced that has, like, a knife and, like, a welding tool and various other things. It's a multi-tool, pretty much. He's fucking deadly. He is scary. Scarier than the alien sometimes, because you're like, oh, man, this dude does not fuck around. I want to see more of what they do with him. Weirdly enough, in this franchise, you never really get cyborgs, and he's a cyborg.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is unusual for Alien.
But it makes sense, though. It's not, like, totally out of left field, where it's like, okay, that's just too new and different.
No, it's not that it's different, it's just unusual. It's not a thing that happens.
Yeah, exactly. And I like it. Episode 5 is my favorite because you see why the ship crashed. It's Alien. The episode is structured like the first Alien movie, but instead of you know that the creature has done it, it's a mystery in like who is the saboteur, who let this thing out while the alien is killing you. So it's just like we have to find the saboteur, but we also have to contain this thing. Oh shit, other creatures are being let out. What are we gonna do? There is one creature in this show that absolutely steals the fucking show. It is the eyeball monster. I don't know if you get
eyeball monster.
So yes, one of the creatures they pick up is this eyeball like with tentacles, and it's kind of messed up and cute at the same time. But what it does is it attaches to you, burrows into your eye, rips that eye out, and then uses its tentacles to go into your brain and then control you. And that the eyeball becomes the eye of whatever it took over. So the first time we see it, it took over the cat of the ship.
It had to happen eventually.
It did. It's violent.
That's just like freaky. Ugh.
And then you see like it takes over a human at one point, and you see how that works. It takes over a sheep at one point because they're trying to test it out. The thing about this creature, it has intelligence. Like it knows what's going on. So it is planning your destruction. It is fascinating. And I will say the eyeball monster does get into a fight with the Xenomorph at one point, and it's just as fun as you think it is.
Interesting.
Like they do basically everything that you would want in that scenario. Like, okay, how does this work? Will this thing fight this thing? Yes, it will. And what happens if this thing tries to attach to itself to a Xenomorph? You find out what it does. Like that creature is the best thing in this show, and it's very much in line with everything Alien.
That's awesome.
It's so cool. Like the sheep stuff is the best stuff in the show. Like when they really explore how this thing works, it's so fun. Yeah, that's pretty much where I'm going to wrap this up on that. It does set up for a season 2. We'll see how that goes. I don't know if this show was like a ratings hit where it's like, because the show definitely shows that it had a lot of money behind it. I know I've been talking a lot. I did watch the show. Is there anything question-wise you guys want to ask me before I wrap this up? Like,
I think you covered everything I would want to ask pretty comprehensively, so I'm good.
Okay, Kris, from what I've explained, and since you've never really watched much of the Alien movies, what in this show would get you to watch it?
Probably the synthetic human part, because while I'm not a big like alien like sci-fi person, the idea of synthetic humans is intriguing to me.
Mm-hmm.
I would probably watch it for that, see how they do it next.
Oh, you're gonna love it then.
If I can find a place to watch it.
It's on Hulu. That's the only place
I got the money for Hulu.
It's on Disney.
I mean,
I watched it on Disney Plus, but I think I got my Hulu.
I bet
it's on Disney.
I bet it's on.
Hey.
Max, you're gonna have to bleep that out.
We may talk about child violence, but I draw the line at piracy. I guess if I have one really big issue with the show, I think the main character gets way too overpowered at the end. It's not a Mary Sue thing. It's not that bullshit kind of like argument. You clearly see how she gets certain powers, but it's still like, she can do what now? It's crazy what she can do at the end, and like it's ultimately not scary anymore because she's like, you got this, and this? Why should we be afraid? And I guess what I would hope what season 2 does is it kind of takes her from being the main character into kind of being more the antagonist, because I think that's what kind of they're going, because what she says at the very, like the last line of this show does kind of lead you to believe that like she's looking to take over. It was an interesting note to leave off. It's not like a game-breaking thing, even though it is the very end of the show. It just kind of takes away a lot of the tension when you know that, like, okay, so these are super strong robots, and they also have control of a fucking xenomorph. Like,
that sounds terrifying.
Yeah, it's like, oh, okay. Like, I think that's kind of where they're going with the whole, like, she's gonna be the antagonist, because the last look we get from her brother. But yeah, I don't know. I'm excited to see what they do with the show. I hope they have a season 2 come out. I don't know when it's gonna come out. I hope it's not like 3 fucking years.
With TV today, it probably will be.
And just how expensive this show looks, probably.
Yeah.
Throughout the Alien collection, we built up to Romulus and we built up to this. If you want to get into the Alien movies, Romulus is a lot easier to digest than this show. Emily, you might understand what I mean by this. Alien Romulus is much more like Aliens. Alien Earth is very much more like Alien.
Interesting. Okay, so I will like it more, is what you're telling me right now.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, okay.
And
Cool.
for me, like, I prefer Romulus more because I like Aliens and that more like faster pace. Even though I didn't like the end of Romulus. Alien Earth is better made, but Romulus is just more my speed. That's what I'll leave it off with the Alien collection for now. But yeah, that ends the Alien collection, Emily and Kris. Thank you, Kris, for joining us at this last part. A carryover from the internet horror episode that we just recorded.
Yeah, thank you for having me. Thank you for having me.
No problem. Emily, is there anything you want to say about the Alien franchise before we wrap this up?
I hope they make another good one.
I think they will.
I hope so.
Now that the Alien movies are done, we have to move into the other big sci-fi franchise that this one may be connected to now. With the greatly named, in my opinion.
No.
In my opinion.
I will... Matt?
We will be covering the Predator movies in the Predator Registry. I am not changing the name. It is too fucking funny. I'm very excited to cover those movies. It's definitely going to be a big change of pace from what these films are about. But yeah, if you like sci-fi in general and you love the Alien movies, definitely come check out our Predator reviews. They're going to be a lot of fun. So yeah, please like, subscribe, and share. Thank you guys for watching all of these reviews with us. It was a lot of fun. And yeah, with me today we had...
Emily, woohoo.
And Kris, woo!
Yeah.
Woo!
Don't forget to subscribe to our Patreon. Every little bit that you give us greatly helps support the channel so that we can make better content in the future. And yeah, that's all I got to say. Hope you all have a nice day, and bye.